I think people are relating more to being a public figure than to being a child, and that's why they empathize with Charlie Kirk so much. And obviously, it's sad and should not happen, but did you have this empathy the whole time? Was it in there? Sorry, I'm a little curious. I would love to know where this wealth of compassion suddenly bursted from, because to me, it seems to have come out of nowhere. And I'm not saying it's bad. I'm happy. I'm happy that we all of a sudden have compassion. I'm like, is it because are people like more like, oh, this could happen to me? Do you relate to him more than you relate to children in schools? Because you were one. That's weird to me. Like, I think it's obviously wrong. All these things are wrong. You just have to notice that there seems to be less outrage for children because it's expected, or because are we not empathizing with the children as much as we're empathizing with like being known and targeted, because is that how our individualistic society has trained our brains, that we are like closer to that? Because I don't know, I could sort of see that in the way that the internet goes after people. Maybe it would sort of develop that sort of complex in people to relate more to that. Like, I'm actually psychologically curious to why this response has been this response. When, obviously, when we're contributing to the culture that harms children, it's crickets, it's thoughts and prayers. So I'm like really, really aggressively anti-gun. Like, I don't think we need to be having any of these things, but I was raised in Canada. So of course I think that. I don't know, I think it's crazy. It's crazy. Let the moral grandstanding begin, I guess, like using Charlie Kirk to say that you're better than everyone else because you have more empathy for him. The amount of times I've heard people say I'm not like other leftists today. And I remember one time I dated a guy who had a gun in the car and it freaked me out. And I was like, whoa, I don't. And he was like, do you want to touch it? I was like, no. Obviously, I'm not into guns. I'm also not into using. You know what's almost worse than having a reaction that like the internet initially had, is seeing that reaction and going, well, this is a good time to tell people that I'm better than them. It's like, notice how we're still not really talking about. I just don't really get how we already got there. Does anybody know what I'm saying? This is a fresh thought, because in a matter of hours, you've seen people decide that they need to stroke their ego in a way that doesn't make any sense to me. Because gun control is common sense. It's common sense. And then, having compassion for bad things happening to people is common sense. Then you have the nuance of, and policing the way people feel about the nuance is just kind of a little bit insufferable. And that's coming from an insufferable lady. So, the most annoying thing about the left is the amount of times videos start with, if you're on the left and you don't do this, then you're not on the left. And I am seeing this about Charlie Kirk now. And I'm like, the moral grandstanding needs to end. At some point, you need to talk about the issues and not about your ego. Put your ego down. I'm annoyed. I'm actually really annoyed at people's response about this, because they're purporting to care about human life, and notice how they insert them. You're praying on the street corner loudly. This is how I categorize this attitude of, oh my God, do you guys even care about human life? You are the weirdest, like, fake believers. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I hate whatever fake that is. And you might not agree with me. So people who are saying you're not a good enough leftist if you're not quite as devastated. You want to police people's feelings to make your ego look good and make you look like you're morally more superior, and like you have all of these. It's annoying me. It's annoying me because you're not actually like sad. You don't look sad. You don't look sad. You look like you're on stage. Like, do you get what I'm saying? It's like, I don't think you care the way you think you care. I think you're trying to like, We are not. This one girl had a hand gesture that I did not love. Why are we giving Hannah Montana hand gestures? We're talking about gun control. It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me. God is going to laugh in the face of people who have used the word God to excuse heinous acts when these people get to the place that they think that they're going. Like, I don't get how they believe they're going somewhere by using the word God to justify such ridiculous things. To see people, ignore common sense and critical thinking, which by your logic should be a God-given skill that you're underdeveloping and undernourishing by listening to idiots that hate you and want you to have a suffering, miserable life and defending, like, it's just the way people, I grew up Catholic. I don't identify as Catholic. I believe in what I believe in, and I think it's a really personal thing and very specific to you. But I think the way that people use God to justify, like, heinous acts and heinous people is disgusting. And then they use it to be like, well, we should feel worse for this person than we do for children and people around the world. That doesn't make any sense, because Jesus was hanging out with the people that are hated by the politicians you follow. He was friends with them. You don't make any sense. I had to take theology in college twice, and my professor said I should major in it, and I did not. I continued to major in dance, because some things you can develop with your intuition. You don't need to have a man tell you how to think. And that should be a whatever you believe in, given gift that you nourish and feed, but you don't. You've let it atrophy, and you're excusing the atrophy. Like, it's so lazy. It's just so lazy. Mentally, belief-wise, it's all lazy to me. And when things like this happen, it's really disgusting to see the way people use the word God to justify, like, just really weird, gross mentality, in my opinion. All of this Charlie Kirk discourse reminds me of a conversation I had over the weekend about intuition versus God, and how I don't think they need to be mutually exclusive, but a lot of y'all have convinced yourselves that you need to listen to, like, organized certain kinds of people, and that their laws and their ideas make sense because they said so. And you have let your intuition atrophy, which is a God-given gift. And so you don't have the alarm signals, and you're not listening. Well, you have them, but you've suppressed them, and you're not listening to the signals that are saying, this man is bullshit. This man is lying to you. This man is dangerous. This man is bad for humanity. And because you so easily let a man who it just looks like he should be able to take a position of authority say that he's related to God and this is in the name of God, and so you believe that it's in the name of God. How easily you let him do that. What an atrophy of your intuition to so easily let in predators that hate you and want you to suffer. And you call that God. Like, to me, I can't. The way God is being talked about right now, I have my own beliefs that are personal, and whenever people start using God in this way, it's really disgusting to me. Because I'm like, oh my God, you are fighting for literally draconian lizards and calling it faith because you have let your intuition just fall into the wayside. You just do whatever these men tell you to do, and you just listen to them, and they say, oh, well, even in the name of God, and blah, 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 blah. And it's like supporting a culture that literally annihilates children. And you don't understand that cognitive dissonance because you have forgotten to nourish your universe-given gift of thinking for your fucking self. And that is the antithesis of God. That is the antithesis. Mind-numbing following people who posture is the antithesis of what you purportedly care about. I wish anyone would hear this, but I really doubt that they will.